All right, let's talk about Tua and the Dolphins, who unfortunately are now 0-2 since he's come back. But I do have to say, I think they look so much better. And this was a quality loss, right? I think the offense looked very good. Now, they're 2-6. They kind of can't afford to drop any games, no matter how good you look in them. But we talk about the AFC being kind of weaker this year when it comes to wild card spots. So do they have a chance? Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about, can Tua lead this Dolphins team and Tua, at least a competitive team? Can they turn it around? Let's talk about what he did so well against Buffalo. Starting off with something like this, which to me, this is the classic what makes Tua good play, and also why sometimes he doesn't get the credit he deserves, which is, you see the concept on the screen right now. Usually some of those over-the-middle routes can get open, right? That's usually where you would look if you're at a quarterback. For Tua, he takes a snap. That is where he looks. Looks over the middle, but doesn't love what he sees. And while we can't see what he sees, given that it's Tua, I'm going to assume he's correct in not throwing it, because if there's something open, he usually makes that throw. So nothing great over the middle. What I love about Tua is just how fast he processes these plays. Watch him so quickly gets to the check down towards the top of the screen, and they pick up a first down right there. Again, good play by Devin Achane to be able to make that play work for sure. But at the same time, this is what Tua can do, right? He gets to the correct player so quickly, and he puts the ball in the right player's hands so effectively that it makes sense that when you watch a play like this, you kind of tend to give credit to the skill players because Tua puts them in such good positions to succeed. Like, this one's another example. It's again going to be a Devon Achane play. Achane is going to just be, it's a screen pass. He fakes it that was going towards the bottom of the screen, but then cuts back over the middle. But again, for Tua, watch how when he takes the snap, look at his eyes. I mean, this stuff really matters. It does. When players in the NFL are so smart, they can see where you're looking, and they play off of that. They see where Tua is looking. So then when he, in an instant, just is able to flip it to Achane, listen, great piece of running by the halfback, right? Definitely fair. And when you watch that play live, you're like, wow, what great play call is maybe the second thing you'll think of. First is great play by Devon Achane, and then a third is, okay, I guess Tua did a pretty good job. But under replay, you can really see the value Tua has. And listen, when Tua's out there, it seems like he's just a game manager kind of only doing his part, but there's a reason why the value of the team just completely tanks when he isn't there. These little things really do help. And what also helps is this, it has to be mentioned, is that part of it is, they do have very good receivers, and the backups weren't really able to get the ball to the receivers. Tua can. This is going to be a Tyreek Hill deep shot. Why are we still leaving Tyreek Hill one-on-one on the outside? Every time this happens, I bring it up in the film study because it's always a big gain, like always. Tua takes the snap. You see Tyreek Hill, fakes that was going towards the outside, then cuts down the field. And look at how open he is. In fairness to Tua, this is a bit of a difficult throw. You have to make sure that you don't just lob it up and throw it towards the end zone because the safety could come over and make a play. I will be honest, I don't love this ball from Tua. It is a bit behind. Tyreek Hill is able to adjust and make a nice catch. Tyreek Hill, underrated contested catch guy. He can make a tough catch when he has to. Not the best ball from Tua, but he doesn't have to make these perfectly, right? They get guys open, enough that they can still make these plays, and you still, quite frankly, just can't do this. And of course, Tua has made these throws better too, right? This just wasn't his best. We've seen him make better ones. And I still think where the Dolphins really thrive and where they're really at their best is stuff like this. The over-the-middle routes against zone coverage. They're just so good at this because they're so fast, and Tua processes things so quickly. Again, when Tua takes the snap, you see Tyreek Hill runs a route over the middle, and look at how quick he gets there. He's already on the other side of the field, and the ball is already almost there. For Buffalo, this honestly isn't even that bad of zone defense, I would say. There is a window. There's usually going to be a window. But it wasn't horrible defense or anything, but it still looks wide open because of how good of a route it was by Tyreek Hill and how quickly Tua got it to him. That combination, it's just deadly. It really is. This play is definitely one we have to talk about. So, obviously, for Tua, the injuries are a thing, and the head injuries are a thing with him. And this is something that this scares me when I see it. It just does. That's how I'm going to refer to it, which is a huge play in the game, right? It's a 4th down and 3 in the fourth quarter. You are at the 25-yard line. The Bills are in zone coverage. And when Tua takes the snap, he looks up, doesn't love what he sees, but you know what? He's a competitor, right? He wants to scramble up and make a play. Keep in mind, this is zone coverage. So the Buffalo players further deep, they're aware of where he is. Like, this is not a situation where there's just nobody in front of him. Like, there are players who can see him. Tua runs, he dives forward for the first down, and I mean, listen, I get it, right? He's a competitor, he wants to win. It scares me. It just does. I don't want to see him be doing this. But at the same time, I mean, he's a football player. He's gonna play. Like, it is what it is. That's how he's gonna do it. Like, he's out there. He's not gonna not get a first down here on 4th and 3 because of the injuries. That's just his nature. He's gonna try and make a play and help his team win. Let's go over to this now. I kind of touched on this earlier, but this really is Tua's value. I think this is where he thrives, is you see the concept on the screen, and for Tua, he's going to start off looking towards the bottom of the screen because you have two routes that could be a shot play here. You could have Tyreek Hill running a route that could get open towards the end zone. Usually this is better against cover 3 than quarters coverage like it is. So because of that, when Tua takes the snap, that's where he looks, but it's not really looking to be open right now. Again, Tua is not the type of player to look at a bad read and then just say, well, I guess the play is over. He's going to get to his next read. Watches, that's what he does. Gets over there towards the top of the screen. That, isn't really open either. But here's the thing. You see that Buffalo player who is, covering the Miami player who I've circled in yellow. Because that's covered up, what does that mean? That Buffalo player is not covering shallower in that area like he otherwise would be. So Tua, almost blindly, he just looks over there and fires it over there, gets it to, once again, Achane, who picks up a big gain. Again, that's a play that on paper, like when you're watching it live, you're not like, what a great Tua play. But that's a great Tua play. And, I always talk about there's kind of two different things you can do as a quarterback. There's the game manager stuff, and then there's the playmaker stuff. To me, the game manager stuff is the stuff we already know Tua's great at, right? The over-the-middle throws, the team runs a concept designed to work a certain way. You put the ball where it's supposed to go, and it works. You make the completion. The playmaker stuff is when a play doesn't work as designed, you can still find a way to get a positive value out of it. Usually, the way we think of this is like a Lamar Jackson scramble, right? But for Tua, there are more than just one way to be a playmaker. Sure, there's the scramble on 4th and 3, like I showed you earlier, but in my opinion, this is essentially doing the same thing. This is a play that didn't work as designed, and there's only a handful of quarterbacks who are able to put the ball in the right spot and get a big completion like this. This is how Tom Brady was able to consistently win Super Bowls, was because, sure, he was a great game manager, but he also did stuff like this, which was find the value in the play, even if you have to get to your third read in under 2.5 seconds. I'm not saying Tua is Tom Brady, but you definitely see the stylistic comparisons between them. So, really good game by Tua. Unfortunate that he's played back-to-back good games and losses, but Dolphins do look way better. Who knows? I don't think it's crazy that they could go on a little bit of a run. They play the Rams on Monday Night Football. That's their next game. That could go either way. I think if they can pull that off, then you got the Raiders and the Patriots. If you can win 3 straight, all of a sudden you're 5-6 and you're back into it. So you still have the Jets a couple times on the schedule. You still have the Browns also on the schedule. They also have the Packers, 49ers, and Texans. So some tough games as well. But sure, I don't think it's out of the question. The season is not over. And a big part of it is because they just look so much better with Tua out there. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.